welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will be breaking down for the Christmas Day NFL football games. If you're new here, welcome. We have been doing pretty well with our bets. Thursday, we finished with 1 win and 3 losses. This puts our total record at 51 and 48. We are up 4.33 units. Let's keep it rocking. And if you're new, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to never miss more sports bets and news. So this year's Christmas Day games are very interesting. And the first game we got is the Chiefs at the Steelers. The stakes couldn't be higher for the Chiefs, who are 14-1, and Steelers, who are 10-5, as they face off Wednesday in Pittsburgh. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, aiming for an unprecedented third straight Super Bowl title, can lock up the AFC's top playoff seed with a win on Christmas. However, a loss would leave the coveted 1 seed up for grabs heading into the season's final week. On the other side, Russell Wilson and the Steelers sit atop the AFC North despite a tough loss to the Ravens last weekend. To secure the division title, the 3 seed, and a home playoff game, Pittsburgh must win their remaining games. Let's break down how we'll be playing this game. So, the Steelers are 1-5 in their past 6 short weeks and Thursday night games. Now, I know this game is on Wednesday, but it is the same short rest issue. Overall, Tomlin has a losing record of 9-11 in his 19 career Thursday games. Not only do the Steelers struggle on short weeks, but last year there were 3 Christmas Day games. We had the Raiders shockingly upset the Chiefs in Kansas City. The Eagles beat the Giants in a surprisingly close game. And the Ravens destroyed the 49ers in Santa Clara. Now, why am I saying all this? Well, we saw 2 6-point-plus dogs go on the road and win outright. And the Giants, who were getting 10-plus points, play a close game. All the road teams last year on Christmas played very well, and that is how I am handicapping the games on this day. The human element of it being Christmas Day is important. Players are people too. They have families, children, and people to see. So football this week can take a back seat, mainly for the road teams. They leave a day earlier, their family's at home, and once they get on that plane, football is the only thing to focus on. The Steelers are also dealing with a lot of injuries. George Pickens is still questionable for this game, and without him, this Steelers offense is just not any good. He is projected to play, but how healthy is he? Also, Trent McDuffie will be on Pickens if he does play, and I don't love the matchup for Pickens. I am taking the Chiefs money line here at -140. I am also looking at Patrick Mahomes and his rushing prop. His ankle is fine, and he showed that last week with 5 carries for 33 yards and a touchdown. In close games, Mahomes often runs more, and I think we see him run a few times, and it'll take his over-rushing yards at 16.5 yards. Now, another way I am tackling this is by going back to the well. The Chiefs are not good against tight ends, and this keeps catching for us, so I am going to keep riding with it. Last week, we had Dalton Schultz over 35 yards, and he ended with a touchdown and 45 yards. The week before that, we had a backup tight end, Jordan Akins, over 28 yards, and he ended with 30. And we can go on and on here. The Chiefs are giving up the most yards to tight ends in the league, with an average of 72 yards a game, as well as 6.2 catches to tight ends, the 3rd most in the league. Russell Wilson loves throwing to tight ends, and this year, Pat Freiermuth has been his go-to target. Now, the last 2 weeks, he has been quiet, but the Eagles rank the 2nd best in yards to tight ends at just 36, and the Ravens' game plan was to take him totally out of the game with no Pickens. Now, if Pickens plays this week, I'll be taking a lot of Pats over this week if receiving yards is set at just 29.5 yards this week. The last time Pat had a juicy matchup like this was a couple of weeks ago when he played against the Bengals, who rank 30th in yards a game at 67 yards and last in catches. I'm taking Pat Freiermuth over 29.5 yards. I'm also going to take his over 50 yards on the alternate line at plus 275. I will also take his anytime touchdown prop at plus 360. Now let's get to the second game of the day with the Ravens at Texans. I am all over the Ravens here. Give me them minus the 4 points. The Ravens lost a few games earlier in the year that they had no business losing, and a lot of it was because of special teams and their defense. But since Week 11, Baltimore's defense has been outstanding, allowing the third lowest EPA per play, the lowest yards per attempt to opposing quarterbacks, and just 19.2 points per game. I believe these defensive improvements aren't fully reflected in the current spread. On offense, the Ravens lead the NFL in yards per play, dropback EPA per play, and PFF offensive grade, while also scoring an impressive 30.1 points per game, the third highest in the league. Meanwhile, the Texans have a major flaw, and it is their offensive line. They are going to be facing a lot of challenges if the Texans are forced to rely on the passing game to keep up. They currently ranked 22nd in PFF pass block grade and 25th in pass block win rate. Also this year, when playing on short rest, the Texans are 0-3 straight up and against the spread, losing by just one score in all 3 games against the Chiefs, Titans, and Jets. Now, another way I am playing this is that the Texans have a very good pass rush. What is the best way to avoid a great pass rush? It's quick passes, and of course not passing, and by running the ball. But rollouts and bootlegs are also big here. The last time the Ravens played the Texans, Lamar had over 100 yards on the ground and 2 rushing touchdowns. But I think the Texans are going to sell out and try and stop the run. They're going to make this a passing game. That plus Derrick Henry had his second highest touches all year with 26 last week. And with no Justice Hill, who was concussed, and a short week, I think Lamar may be throwing a lot this week. That plus this is a huge narrative game for the Ravens. The Ravens deep down want to win a Super Bowl, but they also want Lamar to get his flowers too. With a huge audience in game, he can literally take the MVP odds by storm and be the front runner with a big game, kind of like what he did last year. And I think that is exactly what happens again. Now, his passing prop is set at 214.5 yards, but I am going to combine Lamar's passing and rushing, which is set at 263.5 yards. The Texans play a lot of man coverage and are not very good at stopping running quarterbacks. So it'll take over on the combo. And like I said, I think this is a statement game for the Ravens and Lamar's MVP height. So I'll get a little crazy in predicting a Jackson 4 again. He has hit this in 4 games this year, and at plus 1,000, I'll take a half unit on it. Now, another angle I am looking at is the Ravens' defense. They have been a great unit the past few weeks and are elite against the run. I see the Ravens taking the lead early and can see this becoming a passing game, so I'm taking the under Joe Mixon, 67 rushing yards. Another fun play I'm looking at is running back Keaton Mitchell. This kid is a great speed running back who got hurt late last year. He came back a few weeks ago, but has been healthy scratches the past few weeks. Now, with no Justice Hill, he will be activated, and this kid is lightning. He can break a run anytime. Last year, he had 47 carries for 496 yards, which is 8.4 yards a carry. I'll be playing some fun long shot prop plays on his over-rusing yards once they get released. I will be doing a small half unit on these, and we'll be posting the odds in the comments and in the description, so make sure to check that as well. Another angle I am looking at in this game is the deep threat. The Texans play a good amount of man, but they will need to stack the box and or keep a safety closer to the line of scrimmage to slow down the run. This combined with a lot of man coverage could leave a deep shot opportunity open for the Ravens. Rashad Bateman is the Ravens' deep threat. We have seen him catch a few deep balls this year. I will be taking his over 50 receiving alternate prop. This will probably be set at around 35.5 yards, so I am expecting it to be around plus 170 for over 50 yards. I will add this also to the bio and comments area once the line is released. My last bet will be a money line parlay with the Chiefs and Ravens at plus 140. So those are my favorite bets for the Christmas Day games this year. And that is it for this week. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and to like this video for more betting and sports news. See you in the next one.